Hi guys, welcome to the second edition of Saul's Shed. Just a bit of a vlog and update and a couple of things that I found interesting this week and perhaps will turn out to be useful in the long run. Okay, just something I thought I'd better add is a bit of a disclaimer. What I do in my shed is what I do in my shed. I'm taking the risks. If I make something dangerous or manage to cut my hand open or something, it's my own fault. Please don't copy what I do, and anything that I do put into this video is purely for entertainment. It's not saying you should do it, and please don't fry yourself. If I do it, I'm fine. If you do it after copying something daft I've done, I would feel rather guilty about that. So please take this as entertainment and not a how-to. Okay. I just thought I'd show you this thing that I'm in the process of making up for myself. The reason being that the silver box there I got from eBay is a speed controller, and it advertised for speed controller for electromotors or dimmer switch, that sort of thing. So the reason I've done this, and I've yet to fit a lead to it, is because I've got a bandsaw that is single speed, and I've also got a fret saw that is single speed. So if I put a plug on this far end, then I can plug my saws into that and turn the speed up and down. That's the theory anyway. So I'll put that down. What I'm going to use to make the outside lead for it is just an ordinary kettle lead, PC kettle lead. I'm going to cut the end off, splice the wires in, and give it a go. Catch up with you in a second. Here's a brief schematic of the way I've wired it up. Wired it up normally to the outlet here. Blue is neutral, brown is live, and obviously the earth wire. And obviously I've only connected the two wires there at the controller because it only has 4 inputs. As I said, I've got this controller on eBay and it's advertised as a 4000 watt, so it should be fine for using with my bandsaw, which is sort of 350 watts, or my scroll saw, which isn't much more, it's probably a little bit less. So I'm hoping everything's going to be okay with this. I'm sure somebody will point me out if I'm wrong with it, the wiring as such. I was careful to make sure that the input of the wiring, I took this apart and looked at the circuit board, and I could see this was the input tract because it went in through the fuse. So hopefully I've got that right. I'm sure I'll be able to demonstrate in a sec when I put it all back together. Right, time for the first test. I've connected the lamp up to it, as you can see. I'll move it a bit closer together so you can see both. Yeah, seems to work. Oh, it does on a light bulb anyway. Let's try it on something different. I'll try it with my scroll saw now. Turn it full so I don't stall the motor. Well, I'm quite pleased with that. That's okay. I mean, obviously, got to be careful not to stall the motor. But for what I wanted it to do, slow down my scroll saw, works just fine. One thing I would say is I tried it on my single speed bandsaw, and that one stalled out too quickly and tripped out. So it doesn't work on that, but it does work on this. And if nothing else, it's a dimmer lock. The dimmer works on lights. So I think this is a successful experiment. Didn't do exactly what I wanted it to, but I can live with that. That's okay.
What did you do on your arm?
Oh, I scratched it with some nettles.
Oh, it's bleeding.
Is it? Oh dear, I must have knocked it then. So, there's my speed controller, the finished item. Right then, Chloe. You're famous now, you're going to go on YouTube. I don't know if anyone will see it, but you might be famous. Just for information, this is my youngest one, and most cheeky. Here's something else I wanted to share with you. My sort of like little Delta sander there, I mean it's years old and didn't cost very much when I bought it. But anyway, it stopped working. So me being me, I thought I'd see if I could fix it. And I've got to show you what I found inside of the thing. It made me laugh so much. Right, so I've just taken the casing off. And I just thought I'd show you this, because this absolutely tickled me. See the slide on and off switch there? Well, it goes down through a bar into that. So consequently sliding that up and down, switches this. Oh God, focus. So sliding that up and down, clicks this switch, which I thought it was a classic. So we'll put it back together now. Turn it off. Stops in the thing, and as you can, oops, handed, but we're not very professional. Putting this up and down, turns that switch on and off. I just like that. Bit of lateral thinking by somebody. And it's worked fine for donkey's years, so there's obviously nothing wrong with it, just different. Anyway, I'll show you what went wrong with this thing. It was nothing much really. That big pinion wheel there had slipped down the shaft a little bit, because it's got squared off ends on the shaft and the wheel plugs into it. And because it slipped down the shaft, it came away from the drive gear, and obviously so the motor was running but nothing was happening. All I did really was push the gear back into place and arrowdited it to the shaft. Because at the end of the day I'm not that worried. I doubt very much if I could ever get a replacement gear for it, and why would I bother anyway? I mean, I've got one of those multi-tools that can be used as a Delta sander as well, and that's, to be honest, is a far better machine than this thing. But then again, I probably had this thing 20 years and it's still going. Okay, I'll put it back together and give you a little demonstration run just to prove my point. Righto, just a quick buzz with this one just to show you that it's working again. I mean, I've got the right size pad, which is probably not the best demonstration, but anyway. And it seems to be working fine. Yeah, no complaints. I wonder how much longer it will last. Yeah, quite chuffed with that. For the sake of 10 minutes and messing around with a bit of glue, getting it going again. Good on it, good old friend. Well, this part of the video is more confession than anything. I have got a bit of a fetish for cordless drills. I don't know why, perhaps it's because of my age. I remember when they first come in and they were marvellous things. I've never seen anything like it. Now, I mean, you can get from next to nothing, which I have with most of these. Most of them came second-hand from eBay or second-hand at garage sales, that sort of thing, for next to nothing. One of my favourites, really, is this little old Makita. Here we are. See if you can see the spec on it. It's an old, I don't know how old it is. I should find it really. Still works fine, but it's only 7.2 volts, so obviously not very powerful. And it's got NiCad batteries as well, so it is what it is. But I use it quite often, and it's quite it is quite useful. It's light, easy to use, perfect for what I want to do most of the time. I've got this set of Boschman 18-volt drills. I mean, they're Chinese knockoffs of Bosch, really, but they do look a bit like Makitas as well for their colouring. I mean, they're okay. There's nothing wrong with them. They work. I've got nothing to say about them, really. I don't use them very often because they're quite heavy and clunky, but they do the job. They're okay. Now, this is my go-to little cordless screwdriver drill type thing. I really like this one. It's because it's light and it's easy to use, and more than likely, if I'm doing something in the shed, I'll use that. It's a little cracker. It's quite old. It was made in Switzerland, so perhaps better quality than the Bosch drills that are made in Malaysia, but maybe, maybe not. I wouldn't argue the toss over it. Everyone has their opinion, and they're certainly welcome to it. Then I've got 1, 2, 3 12 volt Bosch drills. All came from next to nothing on eBay. I think I paid £250 for one and £350 for another. They were all less than a fiver. And as I say, with that little Makita, it was only a fiver, so that wasn't too much. Now this is the one that's foxing me because I really like it. It's pretty old, and it's only a 7.2 volt, but it does work. I've checked it with other batteries, but the battery that came with it is dead. Now, I may have a go at rebuilding the battery and putting some new cells in it, but it's a bit tricky to open. Now, see how we go with that. I've only found one place where I can find new batteries for it, and that's from a battery remanufacturer in Germany. And the battery is 20 quid and shipping is nearly 9 quid. So it isn't worth it, really. I mean, I love that little drill. I think it's a cracker, and I'd like to be using it, but I'm not paying 30 quid for a battery for it. I mean, I could buy a whole drill in Asda or whatever for that. But if I can fix the old battery, I will have a go at that. I mean, I've got these couple of 14 volt ones as well. I think I might have paid £6 or £7 for them. With good no, they weren't. They came without batteries, and that's why they were so cheap, I think. But I bought a couple of batteries on eBay for it. That Ryobi, with a good battery, is only cost me a fiver as well. Come with the box and the charger and all that nonsense. So I was quite pleased with that. I got an 18 volt NiCad one, Bosch again. I quite like them, but for some reason they seem to fetch next to nothing on eBay, so why not? And then I've got this monster here. I think the battery is currently flat. It's Bosch 24 volt, and it is pretty powerful. You know, give it its due. It's got a fair old kick in it. But I paid a bit more for that, and to be honest, I wish I didn't. It was just, I thought, I got to have the 24 volt one, and I don't know why I bothered, because it's big, cumbersome, heavy, and it does the job. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of punch in it, but I don't know. I don't know if it's really worth the money, and it's not very practical things. It's a blooming heavy. I mean, if you're going to cart something like that around, you might as well use a corded drill. But and this is my last one. This is the only drill I've bought new. I bought it, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And it's a blooming beauty, I must admit. If I go out to do work or whatever, that's always the go-to one that I grab. It's got a couple of Li-ion batteries on it that hold their charge really well. And just a joy to use. It's light, it's powerful, to be honest. There doesn't seem a lot of difference between the torque between the 24 volt and that one. And that's only a 14.4. I suppose it's the different battery spec, where this is an NiCad and that's Li-ion. And also it's a lot newer, and it's from Bosch's professional range, so it's pretty well built. I'm quite chuffed with it, really. I like that drill, but I tend to not to use it in my shed or workshop. I tend just to use it if I go out to work. This is my go-to drill. I really like it. It's just light and easy to use. I've got a couple of batteries for it, and I still like this old Makita as well. There's a little booty, really. I mean, to be honest, there's no power to it, but you just like using these things, don't you? It's just what I remember when they first came in, that sort of drills, and they were really good. So that's it. More of a confession, really. I have a weakness for power tools, and I have a weakness for bargain as well. And I think when you buy a drill for £2.50, £3.50, or even a fiver, I mean, for the sake of buying a new battery on eBay, which is between sort of like 10 and 12 quid, or even repairing the batteries yourself, it's cheap functionality. For me, I see it that way, and I'm always driven by frugal things. Yes, I would like the latest DeWalt or the latest whatever, you know, 100 quid drill. And if somebody would be kind enough to give one to me, that would be fine. That's what I'd use. But this is my little collection of guilt, really. I don't expect I spent 50 quid on all of it, apart from the new one. Probably spent less than 50 quid, I would have thought. I mean, the new one was about 65 quid, something like that. And to be honest, for that, it's a bloody cracker. I really enjoy it. So, this is partly for my wife as well. It's a confession. Too many drills, too many. So, here's part 2. Corded drills. I suppose I should say confessions of a drill addict. I just have way too many of them. To be honest, I haven't really got a very good corded drill. Probably the best one I got is that Erbauer, but I'll get to that in a minute. This is the one was my dad's. It's old, but it still works fine. It's still in pretty good nick, really. I think apart from a couple of sets of brushes, this had nothing done to it, or maybe a new lead at some point. That's a cheap drill that I had, and works okay. Power Devil, I think it is. Some more Black & Deckers. To be honest, I mean, this sort of generation Black & Deckers, they aren't very good machines. They aren't very well built. They work, and the parts are cheap enough, and I've no complaints with them really. I like this one quite a lot because when I was 21, my dad gave me some tools to work with, and this was at the time was quite an expensive little drill, and it's done some work. I mean, I was given it when I was 21. I'm now 50, and it's still working fine. Could probably do with a new bearing set, but at some point I'll get around to that if I can ever be bothered. But it just have a bit of satisfaction, and it's one of my friends. Like, use it quite often. Like it. This is a drill I bought new. It's an Airbear brand, which is Screwfix in the UK's. That's their sort of middling own brand, and it's SDS drill, which, let's be honest, is frankly far superior to Jacob's Chuck. Those SDS things are brilliant, and I really like it. It's a cracking drill. It's done loads and loads of work for me, and it's still going strong. Hadn't missed a beat. And finally, this thing. I mean, it's a real cheap one from Aldi stores. It's like only 30 quid, 35 quid, something like that. And it's pretty big and tough and does the job. I'm not going to try and sell it as a quality bit of kit because it's not, but it works. It works fine. Of course, as I've said in the other clips, I would like to have DeWalt or Blosch Blue Line or Makita. I like all those brands. I think they're cracking. But for what I do and the sort of work I do, that is very functional, that Airbear, and I like it a lot. And if it goes wrong, I'd probably replace it with the same. Or maybe a DeWalt. I don't know. They're in a lot in price, actually. They're only about 80, 90 quid. And it's a great work tool. Do like it. But I suppose my favourite will always be this one. It just works. And it's solid. Works really well. And brings back a lot of good memories as well. Okay, so that's the last bit of Confessions of a Drill Owner. There are too many drills, as I've said. Well, guys, thanks for watching my second vlog. I will be doing some more, I promise. Hope you found some of my rambling slightly interesting. If you like it, please give me a like. And as I said at the beginning, don't copy what I do. If I'm a numpty in my own shed, that's my issues, okay? Well, cheers then.